Well, all right, 1 second, too, man, because I'm black as fuck. You can't just put goddamn cameras on when I'm camouflaging. Don't me and the dog look alike? Amazing. So here's the deal. Week 3. That's essentially what you're getting from me with the Moses story. And we're going to go to Moses in one class, and we're going to go to selection of trustees with the Job story, and I'm going to try to condense it as an experimental. And we're going to spend the 2 hours on the ideas. The reason why is because if I could complete it now and I'm sufficed, and that's all I need, because I make the curriculum at an impulse. There is no real syllabus. There is only doctrine. So, week 3, Moses. So we took care of the IRS coming after you for the claims. That would be week 2. And we also took care of the fact that they get caught in the Red Sea by having that beneficial trust. Correct or incorrect? And then, not only did we take care of that, but we also talked about the beneficiaries being able to only get what their benefits are and the no contest clause. And that any action, like taking the manna, extra for the extra days, unless prescribed, would also be a violation and a contesting of the trust, and therefore it should spoil. Correct or incorrect? And we keep harping on the fact that acclamation is Judeo-Christian principles because 8 trusts are predicated on the entire legal system's trust of Judeo-Christian principles. And so therefore duties are more important than egos. Amazing. Duties are more important than egos. Amazing. Duties are more important than egos. Amazing. And so it's one team, one fight, one mind, any weapon. And we've also talked about that logic. Be advised. Tupo, on the record, without going into it, I got my 30,000 back. And a box of chocolates. And the chocolates weren't out of I'm sorry. It was because I requested them. And I took the chocolates first because the money meant nothing. Sounds like me. Good. Now, let me change shirts. I am now going to give you the red version because this shit is going to be embedded in the very blood of a trustee. Thank you. Same model, different color. Same hand. So here's why I say that. So Moses got the clay tablets. We talked about the tabernacle. Minute meetings. So they made a tabernacle for the minute meetings, and where were the beneficiaries in those meetings? Well, you can't give me hand and arm signals. You got to talk to me, Mona. Mona?
Outside.
Right, yeah. So they don't get to sit there for the meetings. Why?
Mainly because they're the beneficiary. They're not there to make the decisions. That's the role of the trustees. Mind your business.
Right. That's right. Mind your business. Damn right, because the trustees are the only ones that can manage the assets. And so the minute that they were to give an opinion to the trustees, what would that create? A contest of the trust and their obligations? If you're doing it with
and a conflict of interest.
There you go. So they would absolutely absolve themselves of their beneficial interest by even being able to speak to them. So now let's look at the Ark of the Covenant. There was an ark that carried the law of the trust indentures. Those clay tablets were the rules onto the people. That was the ark. The ark was made to carry those tablets. Every time that they opened the ark to take out the assets of the tablet, meaning the tablets as assets, that intellectual property as marked, they would have to put a minute meeting in order to inspect it. What would happen if a beneficiary or a member of the tribe looked inside of the ark en route to where they were going? They got killed. That's exactly what happened. There was a guy, he walked up and he said, let me see what's in this. He looked in, and guess what? He turned into a bunch of fucking smoke. He got cooked. Literally smoke, like in the moment. That means to look into is to smoke your capacity as beneficiary to the promised land. It's symbolic. Does that make sense, or does that not make sense? Cheryl, you can't sit there like a wall, like the Great Wall of China. I need facial expressions.
Yes, that makes sense. I should turn on the light, eh?
Hi. So here's my deal. All right. So when they looked inside of the trust, the mere fact that they opened the Ark of the Covenant or the promise or the declaration of the trust, which is in trust, they got murdered. Bye-bye, no more benefits. Beneficiary dead. Okay, so it's symbolic. Now let's look at another. Now let's look at another aspect. So they were being led by this big fireball that just walked. In the daytime, it looked like smoke. It was the essence of God. But at nighttime, it looked like fire, and it lit the way. As long as they moved en route to the destination. But it took time. It took 40 years to be exact. And all they did was circles, but it looked like they were doing circles. And that's supposed to be symbolic of that you will feel like you're in circles just doing the same shit over and over again. Over and over again. And why did it take 40 years? So that they could test the endurance of the trustees and the beneficiaries' ability to receive the benefit to the need. Does that make sense? Good. Now let's talk about unjust enrichment. Super, can you pull up unjust enrichment on the end? I got you. It's about to get deep. It's about to get real deep. It's not going to be symbolic anymore. It's going to be your livelihood as trustees, because I just talked about beneficiaries getting smoked. Unjust enrichment occurs when party A confers a benefit upon party B without party A receiving the proper restitution required by law. Okay, this typically occurs in a contractual agreement when party A fulfills his or her part of the agreement, and party B does not fulfill. Jesus Christ, this is such a whack ass definition. Kill screen. That is garbage. Let me tell you what unjust enrichment is. Let's say you're a trustee and you start acting like the property is yours, and you start receiving benefits from it. And then you start spreading benefits as if it's your property. It's not your property. It belongs to the trust, and you are acting on behalf of the trust, and you better act like every time you present yourself managing that asset, that you are doing it on behalf of the trust and not your own self, where you're receiving the benefit or you're conferring benefits onto another person. Does that make sense? Okay. So let me give you an example of what unjust enrichment looks like. Let's say I'm a dad, and I go in front of my wife, my son. If I'm not talking to her and she's not agreeing to it, meaning my son. Let's say I'm talking to someone else. This is my son, and my wife is there, and I don't say our son. It sounds like she's not my wife. Does that make sense? That separation is a form of unjust enrichment. in verbiage. Does that make sense? To who here does that not make sense?
So basically, what you're saying is that it's shared. It's not singular. It's the mindset of not self, basically, when handling the
That's right. The mindset of not self. That's right. Because it's not yourself, it's of that entity. Does that make sense? And you can never receive a benefit, not even in words. So you have to almost be multiple personality disorder type of individual. Does that make sense? Hey, if I'm a Marine, I say I am a Marine. I don't say I'm the Marine or the Marines or the only Marine or I am my Marine. Sounds retarded. I am a Marine of many Marines. And they say, well, who do you serve? The Marine Corps. And I just announce, and that's it. Does that make sense? I kill bitches on behalf of the Marine Corps for the interest of the United States. So I just stated entity, fiduciary, and trusted for the benefit of the people. Does that make sense? That would be logical language. If you sit there like a, bitch made motherfucker and try to say that you are just a trust, guess what happens? You collapse the entity due to alter ego. Alter ego, write that down. Alter ego. This is a legal premise. Alter ego, write that down. Hey, Maddie. What's up, lad?
Good, brother. How are you? Congratulations on your fight. I mean, good fight. Enjoy it.
Yeah, I destroyed. Yeah, bunch
Well
of toxic masculinity going on. Amazing. So here's the deal. So alter ego can be thought of as a person's clone or second self. Okay. If you do that in a court, they will say that you have collapsed the entity, which means that you are all liable. Now it becomes an individual person. They will inspect you as such. That irrevocable trust gives us shielding and dispersion of liability, which makes us only liable to civil suit because it is a function as opposed to one individual or one in persona individual. Does that make sense? Let me give you guys an example. So we can create entities, right, in the likeness of our image, correct and incorrect? Or how we imagine, and that would be our image. Imagine that. Who here does not understand my verbiage? Good. When we draft a trust, how we imagine that it should operate is what we scribe in text as the rules of its organization. Does that make sense? Good. So our intent is what we declare on the declaration or the deed of trust. Does that make sense?
Yeah, brother. All right.
Good. So we are going to make entities into our image or how we imagine. Does that make sense? Where does not understand that? Good. So if you suck at imagining how order is supposed to be handled, you will not be able to create a justifiable intent. Memorialized by the memory of your indent on that indenture. Where does not understand what I'm saying? So you will never have a deed of trust if you don't have a deed or an action taken that is viable or justicable, meaning acknowledged by law. Imagine this, laws of the universe. So God created the universe and then created us within those laws of that universe, yes? Which are his laws. Correct or incorrect? You are the God of the trust. Act like a God. So that indenture is the universe or the universal law imposed onto the trustees, and their duties can only exist just like God created humans to serve him, even if they had free will. Does that make sense? Who here is confused? So your trustees have the free will to say again. Go ahead.
No, I just said makes sense. Basically, in other words, you're creating what you want your world to look like within the body of the trust is what you're creating with how the running of it should be.
Right, but it must be like law that means enforceable.
Right.
So, for example, is gravity an enforceable environment? I mean, a enforceable factor of an environment. There you go. Good job, Timo. Yeah, it is the environment. That's why I said universe, but good word, environment. That's right, because I've said that before, but good word. So when you create your indenture, you are literally creating the trust environment. Now imagine you make a garbage environment. How do you think the trustees are going to perform? Well, maybe they might perform like crustaceans. What good is a crustacean outside of you consuming it to you? Well, how many of you have ever walked up to a crab and tried to understand how it lives its life? Well, I'm asking, Kara, have you ever walked up to a crab and said, "How you doing, crab? Hey, what do you do all day?" And watched it?
No.
No, me neither. Makes sense.
Trustees can only do a good as job as the instructions are clear to them.
That's right.
Right.
And the environment presented, and the environment presented within those instructions.
So if you haven't articulated the environment to the trustees, then they can't do a good job,
As
right?
well as their duties within the environment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got loopholes,
You'll find a Raymond-esque trustee who will find all loopholes to get away with what he wants because he understands his environment. Let me show you how Raymond gets away with shit. You didn't say it. I ain't see it. It's not written, not scribed. Therefore, it's not my duty. Amazing. And then I'll say, stop making shit up. And then I'll tell the grantor, I'll be like this guy, just sitting there chilling. See? Amazing. Karen, I will sit there and say, "But you should have known because you're supposed to know me." And and if you're Raymond, you'll just point back to the indenture and you'll be like this guy, just chilling, not a care in the world. Dangerous as fuck, but not giving a fuck. That makes sense? All right. With that being said, did the 10 Commandments come from an environment? Well, let's look at it. Give me one 10 Commandment. Thou shalt not.
Lie.
Huh? Kill?
I shall not steal.
Thou shalt not steal? Okay, I thought you said thou shalt not kill since your device fell. I thought you shot somebody. Amazing. Listen, but thou shalt not steal? Mm-hmm. What do you want? Okay. Tom, what do you want?
Thou shalt have one God and no other God before me.
Did it say that? Google it.
Thou shalt not
Thou
bear
shalt
false.
have,
Okay, pull up the Ten Commandments. Good.
Thou shalt not bear false witness. This one.
Yeah, bear false witness.
and covet.
Yeah, like false allegations and shit, right? Yeah, amazing. Yeah, yeah. False allegations. Yeah, he hit me. No, he did. No, he did. Where's the dent in your forehead? No, he didn't. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, amazing. Oh, your head doesn't look like a bowling ball? I don't think nobody hit you. Amazing. So, yeah. All right. So let's look at it. 10 Commandments. So, you shall not take the Lord's name in vain. Remember to keep the Sabbath. Honor your father and your mother. You shall not kill. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, and you shall not covet your neighbor's goods. Kill screen? We'll pull it back up. There's a bunch of jealous monkeys out there. Anybody disagree with that? That's right. So, you know that shit coming from impulsiveness of jealousy and anger? Huh? For example, like if I go to my neighbor and I go, wow, his wife got a fat ass. And I go, I'm going to go get this woman. That's somebody else's woman. It's disgusting. Does that make sense? What do you think would happen if I went to my neighbor's house and tried to sleep with his wife? What do you think would normally happen in a gun proliferated state? He might kill me. So those laws also create high survivability of those who would benefit from the behavior. Does that make sense? It comes from an environment. Monkeys kill monkeys. Monkey see, monkey do. Monkey don't like you, monkey kill you. Does that make sense? High survivability. Okay? Does anybody here disagree with that logic? And they were only 10. It was basic. It was just monkeys survived by not fucking with the other monkey shit. Right? Don't steal their goods. Don't benefit from their goods. Okay, good service, trademark. The commandment. Who here disagrees with that? Good. So the laws are imposed as a result of the environment created. Did God create all the monkeys? In this analogy, yeah, he created all the monkeys. Now, let's share another analogy. And we'll get back to the Moses story. Where do predators keep their eyes if they're mammalian? Think of every mammal you know, and then think of where their eyes sit of the predators.
Oh, predators' eyes are always in the front of their head. Prey's eyes are always to the side.
Yeah, so predators' eyes in the front, right, for depth perception to hunt you down, right? And prey's always on the side to watch out for predators. Think about any prey animal that's mammalian. Amazing. So now look at Raymond. Where does his eye sit? Kara, can you answer it? Yeah. Kara, now if you're somebody's wife, look at your eyes. And where do they sit? That means bitches' eyes are predators. You women don't get a fair one. You're predators. 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 Thank you. So look. Cheryl, are you at peace with the fact that you are a predator?
Sorry?
Are you at peace with the fact in the science now that you are a predator?
Sorry, it's lagging a little bit. Am I at peace at the signs of being a predator? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Are you at peace with the fact that you are a predator?
I don't know about at peace, but I know where you're going with it, or what you're meaning by it. Am I at peace as in being a predator?
Good. Commit
With my-
suicide now. Tie a sheet around your neck and jump from the 7th story. Hey, the 2nd story of your home. If you're not at peace with your predator, I'm glad I'm a predator. That's how God made me. All right. I'm going to eat a burger tomorrow. Thank you. So now that we are all at a logic of predatory, that's how we were designed, right? And that's why we have dominion over all animals. Then of that environment based on the fact that we have dominion over all animals, we were also given the capability of being able to have an opposable thumb, stand upright, right? And be omnivores so that we can, right? So we can consume our environment to have a high survivability rate. And now all we needed was logic and order. Based on the fact that there was a lack of self-control from those who refuse order. And so to be entrusted, it means you must be trusted with the highest sense of order to carry out the mission based on the environment gave to you. Does that make sense? All right. Amen. Cheryl, are you now feeling better that you are a predator? No? Just picking on you. So look, hey, if it's still or whatever, hey, check this out. The best warrior of World War II was named Albert Einstein. He never shot a bullet, but he created a force that would destroy and incinerate a city. The best warrior of World War II. That's right. Fucking Albert Einstein. Hey, look, he brought back the power of Sodom and Gomorrah to Japan. Amazing. He was like, you're all a bunch of bitches. Like, he was just like, may you all be made into a mushroom cloud. Super predator. And where did his eyes sit? In the fucking front. Look at that. Damn. It's just like, what a hunter. All right. So now, Shupo, you're just as guilty as Albert Einstein because you're just as smart. Here we go. So here we go. So my thing is this. Back to the Moses story. Unjust enrichment. Trustee acts like any of the actions of the trust are his gain. So coming to the promised land, the Jews were hungry, thirsty. And they said, give us water. And so the Lord says with the staff, the cease and desist, so that it even cease and desist thirst. Or if the cease and desist, you're going to eat and drink some shit you weren't normally able to afford. Because they couldn't afford water in that desert, given the circumstances. And now you'll buy Louis the 13th in Vegas, which is like $5,000 a shot. Amazing. So here's the deal. It's an alcohol. If you don't drink alcohol, it's a good reason to drink alcohol. Look, so the cease and desist. So he strikes a rock. The Lord says, hey, strike the rock and give the people something to drink. And then the miracle happens and he gives the beneficiaries their water. Trademark and polite. And so he says to the people, to the beneficiaries, you guys keep bitching. Have I not given you water? And that's where unjust enrichment happened. He said, have I not given you water? He ain't give him shit. Right, the entity did. And so then when they were crossing over the Jordan, the Lord said to him, notice the words, the Lord said to him, the Lord. I mean, yeah, that's right. Let's all get British with the shit. The Lord. It's in office. The Lord said to him, hey, you punk bitch motherfucker, hey, unjust enrichment. So what you got to do now is you got to die before you get to the promised land. The beneficiaries will get the promised land, but the trustee dies. And guess what? And that's your ass. And your brother will go on, Aaron. But you will die at 120, and all the years of man will now be 120. Good. So now let me take off the red shirt, and I'm gonna get back to the black shirt. Okay. Same shit, just a different color. All still me. And so here's what happens. The trustee lost his ability, just like a beneficiaries contest under unjust enrichment. The trustee ended up the same victim as a beneficiary contested, which means they lost their capacity. Right? So when you talk about the trust, you don't say me, my, I. Stupid. I. What an egotistical maniac. What do you say? I, on behalf of, am only doing this shit. Does that make sense? Multiple personality disorder, because this is not about you personally. It is about a multiple personality.
You're actually just fulfilling the rules, right?
That's right. And you must always...
You're just following the rules.
Announce that you're just following the rules. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. There is no I in team. Remember that. Right? It's like that. Time on deck is 138. Do we understand the concept of unjust enrichment now? And its comparison to no contest clause of beneficiaries, and that the circumstances are death of the two capacities within their trust, and that a trust indenture is an environment as well as the law. Does that make sense? And it is a law based on an environment. That means that you must take into consideration your local laws that are universal while you're creating that environment for your trustees to operate. Does that make sense? I would love it, Tubo. I would love it. You select the body and you have them speak it back to me. That way we have a short quiz, especially managed.
Cara, do you want to have a go at speaking it back to us what Raymond's just...
It's because she has sunglasses. Yeah.
So it's not for yourself, it's for your beneficiaries as a trustee.
That's right. You must be a slave to the trade or an indentured servant. And that means there's a trust indenture. Become an indentured servant, which is synonymous with slave, only that you have a contractual date of finish. Bueno. Kia ora. What say you in a Volkswagen Beetle?
What was the
question? Do you feel like you have the wisdom as well as the savagery to create the laws within an environment so that your trustees can operate in such a way that they would be able to stand in front of a sovereign as a Moses without error of unjust enrichment?
Yes.
You do feel like that?
Because I took trustees to court that enrich themselves without enriching the beneficiaries.
Oh, so you have experience on it?
Yeah.
And did you win?
Yes.
This is called big watermelons. So now I want you to grab your balls.
It cost me.
No, I want you to grab your balls in the food form. I want you to put them on the table. 1, 2, push them together.
That's exactly what happened.
and say, I got fucking combat experience. I know how to get a trustee's ass in line. That's right. So maybe you might just be able to. Amazing.
No, it
Good stuff.
wasn't amazing. It was very painful, and there was no. It wasn't a good, no.
Did you win?
Yeah,
Did you get compensated?
no. I got excommunicated.
So how did you win?
The ruling.
Okay. Let's leave that for free flow. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that way we can turn the camera on. I'm interested. But you don't have to answer it. You know what I mean? If
Yeah, it's all good.
If you
It's a
get-
good example.
it is. All right. So here's the deal. Yeah, usually me, I make those slaves slave for me more. Fuck up in my trust. Not only will you be excommunicated from my trust, but guess what else will happen? I'm going to make you have a debt onto you. In which, if you work at Burger King, you will spend a long time paying me for your damages. Amazing. Moses paid with his life, and he even numbered his years. Amazing. I will create a stress that will make him die on the mountain. Three times. What? Hey, Tupo, where am I married to? What am I married to?
The mission.
Right. And where do I keep my wedding ring to it? Good, Ariana. Where do I keep
Your
my
right
wedding ring?
hand.
Why?
Your right hand.
Why?
Because you're married to the mission.
Alhamdulillah. Boom.
You're covered into you're covered into it. Meaning
And why don't I
that
keep one on my left hand? Why don't I keep one on my left hand?
because it's prioritized above marriage naturally.
Yeah. I'm with my purpose than even the wife. Amazing. So here's the deal. Now we learned something about Raymond. That's why he wears the crown on his right hand. Amazing. So I am more married to my duty than even a woman. Okay, so for all of you, if you are going to be a trustee, be married to that. That's all it is. If you're married to a man, you're given grace. But if you're a man and you have a woman, you're a fucking. You better be married to your purpose. Don't be a fucking. Okay, I gotta light this up. May that not be recorded.
All right, guys, I just want to expound on what he just said. The reason he's saying it to you is because he's trying to emphasize the importance of being dedicated to the purpose and not wavering or changing or, to remain consistent. So when he gave the analogy of being married to it, it's just a concept of covenant. Something you're covenant to is until death do you part. So what he's trying to say is it's a lifelong thing that you have to be loyal to. Hope that makes sense.
Okay, if Tupo gave a thumbs up, I wasn't listening to any of it, but if Tupo gave a thumbs up and it's been recorded, then very well. So, bottom line. Time on deck is 1:44 a.m. my time. It's 6:44 yes Tupo's time, and what is it, 8:44 New Zealand? Amazing. And it's 7:45, excuse me, your time, right, Ayana? Yeah, this is just mental gymnastics. This is mental gymnastics under the influence of alcohol. So here's how this happens. Job story. Super, do you want to tell the Job story for once? Or do you think I would tell it?
No, you need to tell it. No one tells it like you do.
Nobody tells it like I do. I got it from the Bible. That shit's amazing. It's long as fuck. So we're gonna summarize. What's this? Selection of trustees. Now that we understand the depth of a trustee. Completed the Moses story by acclamation. How do we choose trustees? Well, Moana, if somebody put a gun to your head right now, and right in front of your children, and said to you, now you gave birth to them, do you want them to see you die of natural causes? And they're crying in the corner. And they say to you, I will paint this fucking rug with every memory and dream you have in your head. I think self-preservation and love of children would make you capitulate. Do you still say I as a trustee? And that, and that, and that, and that, and that is something to ponder. You don't have to answer it.
Well, you're no good being a deed trustee either.
That's right. Well, I've lost my children to this. Hold on. Just so you know. Just so you know. Hold on. Just so y'all know. I've lost my children to this. They're tattooed on my chest. All three names. It's a sad story for a clown. Let's go. Bang, bang, bang. Woke up on him. Now let me show you why. Every woman that I've been with till I became beholden. Hey, you guys can behold the success. Hey, check this out. Hey, you know what they always say? My children, what if you get an FBI raid? How many FBI raids you guys think I've ever had for doing gambits? We're being recorded. Remember that. So now I'm giving testimony. How many? Zip zero, and I'm stingy with De Niro. Okay. Why? Because I followed the law. And
Yeah, you're not against the law.
And their egos and that fucking dumbass thing known as self-preservation. That instinct is why there were monkeys and why I was able to use that 5% that separates us from their monkeys, which is resolve. Chupo, are we 95% chimpanzee according to Google?
Yes, according to Google, much to my dislike and distaste.
Yeah, so these monkey bitches were not able to tell my masculine ass how to have the authority to create an agreement. And so the illusion of their vaginas was eviscerated. And my purpose was more important to me. Amazing. And so then I thrived. How many of them do you think wanted to be back with me after they saw me become a butterfly? All of them.
One of them.
Oh. And do you think that they're here or near? No, they've incinerated themselves, and I'm proud of it. I'm so proud of it that I'd call them. That's why you have a womb, and that's why you're a womb man. And I'm just a man. Amazing. So here's the deal. If there's more than any other form of gender equality, it is in performance. As long as performance meets muster. Does that make sense? Anybody disagree with that? As long as performance meets muster. Does that make sense? Or does that not make sense? Predators? Predator eyes are in the front? Okay, good. So no, it doesn't. Moana, it doesn't, right? Kara, it doesn't. Maddie, does it?
Of course it does.
Logically, right?
For sure.
Okay. And so do we believe that law is written on, for the most part, logic of some sort, whether good or bad?
It tries to be logical.
It tries to. It does. So depending on your perspective and purview, are they wrong for wanting to preserve the children in the event that maybe a criminal case could have developed by something that they may have felt would jeopardize the children as a law. As a law, meaning that their preservation of those children as a law was wrong? Or was that instinct and maternity?
It's instinct and maternity.
Yeah. And so that's why we can't hate them for that. Does that make sense? As the
Well, no,
architects.
because I'm a mother and a grandmother. I can't hate myself.
All right, you can't help yourself. You know, that's how I forgave my mother and my father. I said they couldn't help themselves.
For sure.
This is human, right? I'm dead serious. This is human. So maturity, could we agree that it is something that is able to be consumed because it is ripe for consumption? Can we agree to that definition? That maturity happens when it is ripe for consumption. Whether your ideas mature, so it's ripe for consumption, your behavior, who here is lost in what I'm saying? 152. I only got 8 minutes before I start the Job story. Come on. You can't run Mana. No funny. How you turn into an emoji because the shit got complicated? What the fuck? These are
It's
hard
not
questions.
complicated. Someone will eat it, right? Someone will. Is it fit for consumption? Someone will eat it.
Right. For example, like I was mature at 18 years old under the purview of the government because of what?
Because you came out of foster care, because you were defined as an adult.
Right. Defined. That's it. When me as a man, when was I really ripe for consumption for a woman to rape me and put chloroform on my fucking thing and have a legacy with me? Hey, maybe like 13, 14, right?
When you let her.
Yeah, she could have harvested me, right? Whoever that bitch was. She could have. I don't know who she is. They haven't, but they could have. Am I correct or incorrect? So biology is different than perception of capability, right? For certain actions like agreeing to a contract, making credit, right? Stuff like that. Come on, we
You've got
gotta
to
have this
understand the
We gotta have
consent.
this
You've got to
conversation.
understand the
We can't
consent.
just be a bunch of mimes. We get to do this.
You've got to consent.
Right.
And to give consent, you've got to comprehend.
I could have comprehended at 11.
Could you?
I was a little old man. I had a cane and everything. I walked with a sway, and my hat tilted to the side like a pin. Thank you. So here's my deal. Here's my deal. I gotta get a little more serious. Look, there's 9-year-olds, right, in Afghanistan. Do you think that they were shooting AK-47s and knew how to go to war? And did they have enough belief structure based on their ideology to commit to the action, including their death? Yes or no?
They've been indoctrinated, yes.
Do you say they have been indoctrinated? I say it's culture, and that's why they were able to be cultivated. Does that make sense? Way to look at it. You look at a 9-year-old in the United States, and they're like, "He's such a baby."
Well, that's true because kids in China, some of them can cook when they're 3.
Thank you. But maybe and they fucking do backflips too. Yeah, mature to cook, right? Ripe for consumption. So maturity is a perspective.
Subjective, yeah.
Well,
Okay,
it's
for a
the
trustee,
environment too.
and it's based on their environment. So with a trustee, you can have a 39-year-old woman who's a fucking ingrate. Can we agree? What about a man? Yeah, give me an ingrate. Yeah, these monkeys are. This is dumb monkey, right? Okay, this is slow monkey. This is what's the slowest monkey we got? Well, a sloth. Let's just add sloth as a monkey. Like these are sloths. Okay. Does that make sense, or does that not make sense? So, how do you choose a trustee?
You've told us
Okay. How do you?
by their personality, by
By
their
the personality.
humility, by their humility and their ability to adhere to the rules.
Okay. Good.
You
That's
said
one.
not combative.
Non-combative. These are great traits for a prospect of maturity. This is truth for trusteeship.
Robotic.
Say that one more time. That almost made me slap my dog and give him a boot job.
Don't. Not on camera anyway.
Now I don't think John wants a boot job. He's just chilling right there. He looks like the rug.
But these are the things you've told us already, right?
This is truth.
I'm not saying it's me at all.
Okay,
This
I'm
is
about
not
to
me.
put the red shirt on.
I think what he's more getting at is the fact of like, for instance, if I'm forming a trust, the first thing I'm looking for is people who agree with my indenture. I need you to agree with me, because if there's conflict before there any agreement, there's going to be a problem. I believe the main, if I stand corrected if I'm wrong, but I think it's essentially agreement.
Goddamn, the red coats are coming. The red coats are coming.
So like-minded people. That's who
Like-minded
you're
people.
trying
This
to
is
be.
correct. Like-minded people. Now, what is your mind like? Hold on, don't tell me. We're not in therapy. But what is your mind like? And this is the one that you don't choose. Let me summate it for you. The people that agree with my idea and that are in love with my idea, but not the people that want to love me.
Motherfuckers, you got your back.
Right, damn right, damn right, damn right. Hey, let me tell you something. Okay, let me give you, because we got 2 minutes. Let me give you an example. Okay. So I was in Marja, Afghanistan. How many times do you think I painted the fucking sand with the human body? Okay, let's leave that for another day. Hey, but you can imagine. Okay, all right. So a woman would say, "Wow, my hero, he defends my country. He's such a good guy." Until she saw what predators do when they have to do predator shit. Now they're no longer in love with you. They were only in love with the idea of you. Amazing. So maturity, right? For consumption. Okay. When you consume something, do you consume it or do you just look at it? Right, you consume it. So they're not even consuming you. They're just looking at a tree like, wow, how beautiful the flowers. Hold on. Let me make another dumbass fucking face. Look. How beautiful flowers. Oh. Right? Bunch of fucking monkeys. So here's the deal. Hold on. Cheryl. Where do your eyes sit?
Righty.
Right. And what does that make you?
Predator.
Predator. Amazing. Say it with your chest. Say it with some gusto. Predator. So here's the deal. So Job story, 2 a.m. So we got a guy named Job. This guy, he's a good guy. This guy, Job, he's a good guy. Now, let's translate his name into English. How do we spell it, Morena? Job. Right? And so it's sounds like if you said it in English, somebody say it phonetically.
Job.
Job. Right, it's a fucking job. God damn it, it's a job. Wow, how crazy is that? So Jesus. So Yeshua. Look, so here's the deal. So we got Job over here. Okay. Job does his job. Job does his job. And so as a man, he amasses wealth. He praises the Lord. He really is a community figure. And so we got Satan. Now. Let's not all be mad at Satan. Satan's not probably that bad of a guy if you really consider his function. I was waiting for somebody to hold up a picket sign and protest. He's not a bad guy. He's a bad entity. It's different. So here's the deal. So
purpose. He actually serves a purpose in the plan.
In the plan. Okay, good. So, but what does it say in Google, the Hebrew definition? And Tupa knows this because we've looked it up because we taught many classes on this. Just please take her word for it. You can Google it and verify it for yourself in real time, but just so we could save time. What does it mean?
Adversary.
Adversary.
What is that? Is that the accuser of the brethren?
Accuser, and what else?
Prosecutor.
Prosecutor. That's right. So it's the adversary, prosecutor, and accuser. That's all it means. It doesn't mean the devil. Not once in the Bible does it say the devil, which means that in the 1600s, they added the devil, painted it with horns, just to keep people as a picture, like to give them a picture of how crazy to support such a thing would be, right? So it's more of an icon than it is true to definition. Does that make sense? There we go. The accuser or adversary is derived from the verb meaning prosecutor, verb. Amazing. So now,
so basically, his job is basically his name. So his name is his job, if that makes sense, his function.
Yeah. So he just did his job. That's all. It's a guy who did his job under all circumstances. So now that we have that, let's look at let's look at it. That's why I say, look, I've lost my kids to this, so we're not making shit up. You know, like, we'll blow your brains out in front of your kids. So did the Afghanis say the same thing. I'm not a sounding so sexist. I'm being recorded. I'm not a woman. Oh, I'm a predator. I'm a man. Amazing. So, man. So here's the deal. So he was walking on earth. This is Satan. Sound effects included. Look. Fucking sick of these monkeys. So he hits the ground. Now 1 grain of sand moves. Poof! He goes, I'm seeing the Lord right now. The fuck are you, Jehovah? So he goes to heaven. Now, I'm literally, this is how it happened. I'm summating Job. This is literally how it happened. Boom. So he goes up and he's walking. Not walking. He's flying all the way up to heaven. And then the angels are seeing him and they start announcing that he's coming. They go, the accuser is coming. The accuser is coming. And he flies in. And there's a bunch of angels around God. And he sits there and he goes, oh, one of you angels have come around. He goes, hold on, Satan, come here. And Satan walks literally like in front of me. He's like, hey, come here. What are you doing? And he goes, don't ask me questions. I'm the one that created this matrix. Why are you here? And he goes, and what have you been doing? And he goes, well, I'm here because I got bored of those monkeys and I've been patrolling Earth. And he goes, well, if you've been patrolling it, have you seen my cool job of a creation? Job. And he goes, yeah, I saw that motherfucker down there. But hey, listen here, God. Hey, what's your point? And God goes, well, he serves me well. So I think that of all these monkeys I've created, that I gave him free will to serve me, there's one that's serving me pretty dutifully. And so he goes, yeah, he has up to this point, but I bet y'all could corrupt him. See, the only reason why he's serving you, following reasons. You gave him everything, made him successful. And you give him enough elements where he could thrive. That's why he hasn't cursed you out yet. And so I want you to take that in 10 seconds. Satan wants to corrupt him because the elements in the environment have given him all the tools for him to be entrusted with such words. Job was easy. And so his name is Job. Stand by.
Fascinating name.
Brilliant.
Mm.
And it's all symbolic of the trust culture and how it should be run and things to look out for if you pay attention to what you say. It really is like reflecting. Not just a story, if you really think about it.
The potential for enrichment is everywhere.
So watch this. So he says, Petrarch could corrupt him. The only reason why he's okay is because you've given him everything in the environment and made it easy for him to be subordinate and supportive. And God says, Satan, you such a bitch. Hey, I created this matrix. So I know everything within the matrix. It says you want to challenge my wisdom. You can't challenge my ego because I've even created that. Why don't you go ahead and try? You can do anything you want to. I'm a wager. But what you can't do is kill him. And so Satan goes, like Raymond, blows the smoke in his face and says, that soul is mine. Does a backflip with a cigar in his mouth like a cool motherfucker. And flies down into whoop. And when he lands, not 1 grain of sand moves, and he lands at hypersonic speeds and boop. No sound effect. Just lands. Here's the ground. He goes, I was sick of these monkeys, but now I got one to entertain me. And so, the first thing that he does is he takes away his wealth. He aggravates a neighboring tribe so that they can kill all of his sheep and goats. And if there's a multitude of goats, that means a multitude of swords. So now he feels surrounded. The job feels surrounded. So he's sitting down and he goes, they just killed all my stuff. Who the fuck? He's talking to his people. He goes, ah. And then another messenger comes in and goes, hey, they just killed your first son too. And he goes, what the fuck? And then he goes, my first son. And then another messenger walks through that very same door and goes, hold on, move, motherfucker. Hey, they just killed your second son. Ah! Eat that. So he goes, Lord, I accept. So they kill him, smoke his wives and everything like that. And it becomes so bad, and he's running around with boils on his skin. He starts getting sick and everything, boils on his skin. So now his health is in decline. That he curses the day he was born. Why the fuck am I in this shit? And then he says, hey, and his homeboy say, yeah, what did you do to piss off the God? He's obviously not happy with you. So even he loses the support of his friend. Now Job is a trustee, he's the job. And God is the grantor who granted the earth. And the prosecutors are after him. They even killed his children. They killed his wives. Has Raymond lost the mother of his children due to their fear? Yeah. This is how I took it in. Let's pause the story. I said, wow, there's more vaginas out there. Don't worry about it. Once I become the man that I'm supposed to be, I will impregnate a woman of worth. And not only will I do that, but I will have a multitude of children. And I will also be more than blessed. Amazing. Ovaries, please bless them. Where do my eyes sit? I am a predator. Thank you. So, oh, wait. Oh, you guys think you're better than me. Good. Where do your eyes sit? Look in the mirror. Amazing. Bunch of fucking predators. Let's go. So here's the deal. So here's the deal. So he finally gets so upset, Job, he screams to the Creator, Lord, explain yourself. So. Why am I suffering like this? Please? I've done everything you've asked. This is a thing. And so, wow. And so God says, all right, motherfucker. Jumps down from heaven, comes down in a smoke cloud. So now the sun is eclipsed and says to him, you plug in. And literally at an impulse shows him the entire coding of the matrix. He gets to see every crab pinchers walking. He knows what a crab is like. He even gets to see every sea turtle, every animal, and the entire universe. Every moon, every sun, every creation, and all the fabrics are in one instant in an impulse. Like Neo in the Matrix linked up to his brain of his awareness. He's like, and then God shows him two beasts. Worst beasts he's created. Now, I don't know if they come from Zeta Reticuli. I don't know if they come from some place. I don't know if it's a fucking DNC experiment to take out Trump. But what I do know is that they horrified him into humility. And God says, you see these two beasts? Now that I showed you everything. They're neither good nor bad, no matter how much you're afraid. But what I can tell you, and the only thing I'll tell you, because I can tell you, is that no matter how horrible they look, they're all part of the perfect perfection of my perfect creation. And then he leaves and unplugs Job. Boom. He goes back. Now he never sees God. He just gets the awareness of the creation of the environment. But because he understood the environment at that impulse, he starts to humble himself to his job and says, it's bigger than I am. There's a lot of shit going on up there. And once he gets back, since he never cursed out the grantor, he was given 2 to 3 times more. So more bitches for Job, more pregnant women, more ovaries with his genetic DNA. He's still a predator. He heals from his boils. He's allowed to go on predation. And he has more goats from this, and Satan leaves him alone. The accuser, by sticking to his mission. If you want to challenge my version of the story, I dare you. Go look it up. And in summation, and you'll find out that it is the same. As colorful as it sounds. That's how weird the book of Job is. And so the trustee was endowed with more riches for his servitude. Does that make sense? Now, if you can't find a motherfucker that can do that, a bunch of punk bitch motherfuckers. Amazing. So here's the deal. So that is a good temperature is like such. Hold on. The temperature is like such. And you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen. Amazing. Because we are asking for the power to be able to negotiate the liabilities of sovereigns. Don't unjustly enrich. You'll end up like Moses. If the beneficiaries contest, send them to the Levites. Make sure you hold your minute meetings outside of the beneficiaries' quarters. And any beneficiary who tries to penetrate the meeting of the trustees and their covenant in its ark. Yeah, plume of fucking smoke. Cook them. Now, these are just stories of human experience. I consider them historically accurate. Maybe some of you might consider them a good rule of thumb. But that's how they've been presented today, as a good rule of thumb. Selection of trustees who can handle the job given the environment. And the grantor will never explain himself. They will just show them the indenture or the matrix and never, ever, ever show them the most horrific portions of that matrix and let them know they're part of the perfect perfection of my perfect creation. That is it. And that's it. Does that make sense? Okay. So if you got a bunch of beta males, do not choose them just because they pee standing up. They're just monkeys. If you have women who have bad pH balances, do not choose them because they're just monkeys. And if you can't acknowledge that they're a predator, as we all are, Cheryl, you've already amended this. Then they're not Albert Einstein. I mean, it's a fact. It's a fact. So let's just look at it like that. How do you guys feel? Let's go into free flow. Tupo, kill screen.